This one might be a bit of a hard one because I know as well. You mentioned you took a gap year,
Mm.
um, and I was reading through and I thought, wow, okay, so you've been doing weddings and like I've seen you doing street performances on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. Even literally in your street at times. And then I know you did like the Pizza Express, but you also were in New Zealand and Ibiza.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I must admit that is like this is a difficult question in the sense that because not only have you played in all these amazing venues, but you've also sort of almost toured to a sense on your own kind of thing, which is really cool. Do you have like a standout, I suppose, venue that you or venue or a place
um,
for performing?
I'd say in the UK, I did really enjoy that Pizza Express gig at the Pheasantry in Kings Road. That was definitely one of my favourite all time gigs because it's just such a nice venue. Like it's known for a jazz club, so being asked to play there and then being asked back to play again with this band was really really honouring. So that's probably one of my favourite UK ones if I had to pick. But one of my favourites in Ibiza. There, I played at a 40th in a villa which was overlooking Ibiza town, and I just remember playing some really chilled Ibizan songs in the sunshine, like standing by the pool at this 40th. Like, this is amazing. Like, I've done my gap year, here I am playing in Ibiza. So I was like kind of living the dream for a little bit on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, did you find? So did you literally just almost find impromptu like opportunities to perform while you're out there?
Yeah, I mean the Ibiza one I did have booked like before I flew out, but yeah, no, it was all organised that one, and then out there I think I did a little bit of busking for a bit, which was quite nice, just also in the sunshine by different harbours. So yeah, no, it is quite impromptu some of it, and especially New Zealand. That was definitely my most impromptu kind of gigs because I knew I had Ibiza lined up after I came back from travelling, and I'd had like other gigs before and had other gigs after. So just I realised my saxophone was not going to fit in my backpack, so I had to make the decision not to bring my sax to New Zealand. But I did actually still get some gigs in New Zealand. Just so I started off in hostels because that's where we stayed each night. But there would always be just guitars scattered round. And sometimes on like a rainy day, I'm like, oh, let's just pick up the guitar. Like, I can play a little bit. And then next thing you know, you're kind of just singing to the rest of the hostel one evening with some drinks, which is quite nice. And then, oh yeah, so then in some different bars, I actually ended up singing in New Zealand as well, pretty impromptu. But there was this one bar where the manager came out and was like, can you just sing the rest of the evening because you're getting us loads of customers and we'll just give you and your friends free drinks all evening. So I was like, well, yeah, sure, why not? So, I mean, I made quite a lot of good friends travelling because I got everyone free drinks. But, so yeah, that was very impromptu, but it was probably one of the highlights of my music career because it was so spontaneous, but it was really fun.
It's just amazing, like the fact you can jump somewhere else and do that, and again the singing and the guitar comes in because okay, you didn't have your sax, but you can still participate. So it's yeah.
Literally.
I must. I mean, my sister, and she was in Australia, and she was sending me clips where she'd be in hostels and someone's playing a guitar, and I thought, oh man, and I'm at work. But I think you really can. I mean, I think you really can. I mean, how? I mean, so would you say that? Because one of the questions I have for you was like, if someone was going to literally do that, because I think it's really important to get out there. I think a lot of us kind of you spent 10 years in your room learning how to play the instrument, right? And then it's like, where do we go from here, kind of thing? Like, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. I really do. So one of my questions was going to be like, did like if someone was going to say, right, I'm tired of this, I want to go travelling, I'm taking my instrument with me, I want to kind of do some things. Do you have any advice for that? I mean, obviously, I know you booked Ibiza in advance, so I suppose you had like an ending point, I suppose, which is probably quite a smart thing to do. Like, would you say just get out there and do it, or?
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say, especially from New Zealand, with not going on the intention specifically to play music, but then ending up doing quite a fair bit of gigs around New Zealand, I'd say just you got to take any opportunity that you get, because you also don't know the contacts you're going to get from it. Like, there was a couple of gigs where I had different DJs come up to me and just were like, we're actually also from the UK, but we're travelling around New Zealand, Australia way. And they're like, when we're back, it'd be great to get some sets together. So I'm quite looking forward to doing some stuff with them after this current circumstances are all over and we can hopefully all meet up again next year. But yeah, I'd just say the contacts you can get from different people's experiences and stuff is definitely worth saying yes to any opportunity you're given.
I think that's solid advice, I really do. And I think as well, it's kind of one thing I've got, I just have to open a note because I couldn't see it in my other notes. Music video, Sail Away.
Oh, yes. Good old Sail Away.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so George McFarlane, who works at the recording studio I also work at, we just decided to start getting a little project together. I think it's probably about 2 years ago now, actually. We decided to do some like Ibiza chilled and Ibiza club mixes. So yeah, we got Sail Away put together. It's like a joint project that we do. And yeah, it was meant to be released this year, but just under the current circumstances, we've decided to postpone it to next year. And that gives us a little bit more time to finalise the other songs going into this album and just recheck them, see if we want to re-record anything. But yeah, and that was quite good actually, Sail Away, because it's technically done. So when I was in Ibiza, I could also actually film the music video for it. So that's quite exciting to get. I'm looking forward to getting a promo out probably later this year or early next year, ready for the summer of next year. But yeah, so no, that is a good dance track, very Ibizan style. So I'm looking forward for everyone to be able to hear that when it can come out.
I did think, because I saw it was like summer 2020, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
that might not be that might not be a thing. Like, there's so many things, right? You read people's profiles where it's almost like they've taken the release date off because they don't know.
Yeah.
Like, kind of thing. I do think that was one kind of like the traveling side of it, but from a musician's point of view, I think that's really cool. And like hearing about you're getting free drinks, and it's like, it wasn't even about like necessarily making money. It's like, well, hey, I'll sing and I'll get drunk. Yeah, that's fine.
No, it was a really good experience, to be fair. I mean, I wouldn't say I actually drunk that much because I was singing most of the night, so I'm probably owed a couple of drinks, to be honest. But no, it was really fun. Like, it's definitely a highlight when I look back on it. Like, this was a very spontaneous thing I did, but it was really worth it.
I don't think you're going to forget that anytime soon. That's for sure. That's a memory for life that you've got right there. But do you have any like amusing things, I suppose, that's happened when like recording or playing live that sort of still makes you chuckle?
I'd say I've definitely got two that I can say that make me chuckle. So one of them was I was playing at a garden party at a hotel, and there was this really cute dog, and I just didn't realise this was a thing. But when you start playing the saxophone, I think something to do with the pitch and then the dog's hearing, it just makes them howl along to what you're playing. So I just remember playing the saxophone with this dog and his family, like all sat opposite, and they just all started howling like the dogs. It was just so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, all these dogs like howling along, and all like the adults are looking at me like, oh my god, I'm so sorry for like interrupting. I just remember thinking that was really funny, just having all these dogs start howling along to all different tunes that I was playing. So that was definitely one of my quite funny moments I've had. But my other one, which I do have to mention, because it was only maybe 2 weeks ago that I actually found this one so funny, was when I was playing one of the NHS clap performances, the last one, I decided to do a song after it, just it's like a more upbeat, uplifting song just for my neighbours that were still watching. And it was actually more of like a club remix kind of song. I just wanted to try it out because I'd been rehearsing it a little bit. So I was like, I just play this for my local neighbours and just see what they think. And I just remember getting halfway through to this really like swaggy song, and I just see coming down my hill about 20 pensioners with their walking sticks and everything dancing, and they're all just dancing down this hill, clapping and waving. And I just remember playing, thinking, oh my gosh, like this is just not what I was expecting. I was like, I didn't think they'd enjoy this kind of music, and they all came down, they were all dancing around, like it was amazing. Like they came and chatted to me after and were like, I loved that last song, it was so good. And I was just in shock. I was like, wow, this is a pop song, like it's more for clubs, but here you are absolutely loving it. Like that was really funny. I just remember laughing while playing this song, like this is really surreal.
Brilliant. They will. I tell you, they'll surprise you, old people. I tell you, they will surprise you. You know, it's some of the things you hear is just incredible. But that really was. Because I think you first put it on Instagram, and I think I probably couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. And I was scrolling through, and it's like I'm doing saxophone. Like, send me in a request. You didn't do mine, but I won't. You know, it's fine. I won't hold you to. You know what I mean? I won't hold it against you.
Next time.
But I thought like that is, and I tell you another thing I saw, was the chap in Italy on his balcony, and he got his like his. Did you see it with the
Yeah.
My Heart Will Go On?
Yes, yeah, actually I've seen that.
And then the camera pans, and this fella's sort of hanging out of his balcony with his sax, and he's sort of joining. And I thought that it made me laugh. B, I thought it was incredible. You know, and like there's just like the baseline like humanity in it was just incredible. You know, all these, because Italy were like, I mean, we were locked down, but they were locked down, and all these balcony performances suddenly became a thing.
Yeah.
But I think it really is like music's always like I mean, obviously I know with you obviously doing the charity song and then everything you've done, you know, in terms of the claps, you know, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I gather music has a healing sort of quality to it. Would you say that's true for you?
No, definitely. I think it's just nice to kind of escape a little bit in music, which is kind of why for each of my clap performance songs I tried to do a slightly different genre for each one, just so it kind of fitted at least someone different each time. And I'd definitely say it's quite a nice escape mechanism. Like you can just sit and enjoy the music, or like for me, I just quite enjoy playing the music. So and I had some really nice feedback from all my clap performances. Like they've done pretty well over social media. I think one of them got like 4.8k views, which is quite a lot for my little music page. But it's done well. I've got quite nice messages from different NHS key workers that I didn't actually know, but they've seen my video and messaged me saying how lovely it was. So it's just nice to feel like you can have a bit of a positive impact on someone else when you can't really control much of what's going on currently, but you can control about like where your music's going and what it's doing.
Absolutely, you see that time and time again. I think throughout history, if you look at it, you know, music and art, you know, no one particularly maybe it's a personal view, but I feel like people don't value it perhaps as much as they did. But it's always there. People are always going to want to be entertained, moved, and stories to be told. But it really was. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I remember on my phone, you know, I had the Twitter kind of bell on for when Boris Johnson was going live, because I wanted to sort of know what was going on. But equally, it's like, how about I've got to go, Tilly's live. So it's like, for me, it was a real sort of like, I look forward to it because it just gave me that kind of, I think it was just a nice break up for we all stuck at home, you know. You could just tune in, listen to some music, and just chill out. So I think I can see. I'm not surprised that some of them got kind of 4,000 and 5,000 views, and they'll probably continue. You tend to find those sorts of things. Once you've done those sort of stamps in time, they sort of stay with you.
No, definitely. I mean, I've had some nice comments from my neighbours because I've been rehearsing such a variety of songs. They all kind of listen like, right, can I have a song request? So I've had some texts from my neighbours who live next door to me, like, can you play this one next? Because we're out in our garden enjoying the live music. So that's been quite fun, having some like private concerts from my garden to my neighbours. But yeah, I mean, they've been very mixed, all the different set lists. Like, we've gone from very slow jazz to a very quick upbeat club mix, but they've all liked it. So
it's been eclectic over time.
Yeah.
But then people never know as well. It's like, you know, as you're saying, you were surprised by your sort of clubby Ibiza kind of one. Yeah, it got people actually out of their garden kind of thing. So yeah. I think you until you throw something out there, you never know the reception that you're going to kind of get from it.
Yeah, I mean, I might add that to my set list when I start playing around these different places, see what they think.
Why not? Absolutely, just throw it in there. And then, what was that song you play? That's mine. You know, you can. But surely, in a way, I mean, that's something I suppose that I hadn't. That's only just come to. I'm like this. Things come into my brain, but I suppose that's a really good way. You know, if you are going out and you're performing, say at weddings, or you're performing like anywhere, if you just drop in something you're actually working on, it gives you almost an opportunity to sort of test it before you perhaps develop it or release it.
Yeah, no, I do, because I do quite a lot of busking as well. Like, I did quite a lot of busking last summer, so that was quite a nice way to just practice some set lists and just see like what songs flow quite well into others and what didn't as much, and just chucking in some new stuff that I'd be learning, or just trying something new, or trying a new song request and realising there's no pressure because you're just busking. So I definitely say busking actually was a really good thing for me to do, actually, just figuring out what works and what doesn't work, but all in quite a chilled environment, just playing out to the streets, really.
Absolutely. No, I think it's. I mean, when would you say you started busking?
Literally only in my gap year I decided to start it, because music really did take quite a bit of a backseat during my A-levels, just because all the stuff you have to revise for and everything. So I knew after I'd done my A-levels I wanted to just take a year out and focus on my music. So I enjoyed it so much, and I did still play through my A-levels, but just not as much. So I knew, like, after I've done this I want to really push it and get gigs and everything. And also, when you're busking, you actually can pick up a fair amount of gigs. So I've picked up a couple from busking as well, which is always quite nice, just to get a bit more exposure and everything. But yeah, really, I've only been busking, I'd say, maybe for 2 years-ish, something like that.
I can see that, because there's one conversation I had with Steve where I almost wanted another crazy conversation I've had with Steve. It was almost be cool to put like a little project together purely with buskers, like go out, find buskers, and then do like a almost like a band purely of buskers. I just think it'd be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But apparently it's already been done, but you know.
Oh. I mean, maybe again.
Just repeat and go for it again.